Oh my god, it's time to get my Magnus Opum my Magnum Opus. What are we doing, gang? Okay. I'm back with the DLC. I optimized this one. I believe this is this setup. I derived on my own and is, I think, 6 away from optimal. 6 away from optimal sum. Mm-mm. Six away from the optimal sum, huh? Do you think that's smaller? What's the current sum? 30. Yeah, no, this can't be smaller. Right? Yeah, this is really big. 27 though, it is smaller. Smaller by 3. So this is now, I think, 3 away from the sum record. I really don't know how much bigger how much smaller I can make this. You know? I don't think I can make this any smaller. At least not with the current setup. Because there's this really big swing. I'm not sure if I can resolve that. Anyway. Yeah, so this is 3 off the sum record, which I believe is like 203? This is 206. And before that was 209. I forgot what the actual sum was, but yeah. Okay, anyway. Before we start, let's do another game of Sigma's Garden, because why not? Hi Jet. What is up? Lead, tin, iron. That's kind of deep in there. Okay, but I don't see much hindrance in terms of Quicksilver. All the Quicksilver are generally pretty far from the metals, except you. And then we have the VT and the Moors. I think I learned from my experience that the trouble actually comes from VT and Moors that are close together. Because like, if this Moors blocks the ability to access this VT, for example, then this Moors must, you know, have another VT to access before you can unlock this one. And then if these two happen to be the last ones left, you can never clear them both unless you have access to them both, for example. So yeah. Okay, let's start with, I want to go this way, clearly. Oh, no, this way for lead. So I probably want to clear you first, because I can't go this way. And I probably want to start working towards you, or maybe you. I think you is slightly better. Or maybe you, because I need the water. I think this is a better idea. It gives me water, a bunch of earth. This earth can go with that earth to access all of these. And then you can go somewhere. I want to make my way into this direction, so I think clearing you early would be fine. Okay. We have a lot of... We need to go in this direction next, I think. I would say so because we need the... Okay, dude. Alright. Australia for Wallaby in 2 weeks. Have fun. I remember you said you were like doing the financial clerical work, I think. Is that what I remember you saying? Oh, do I? My bad. I keep forgetting. I also sort of remember when I sounded like a little baby. Should I clear this first? I probably should so I can clear these out. If I cleared out air now, I have a bunch of these to work with. In particular, this is very important to clear. And then these two can probably clear each other out. Probably. Yeah, I don't mind doing that right now. Although I don't think I need to clear this out, because if I clear these out, then this is free on its own. Okay. So this allows me to clear this. These two can match with each other. These two match. I want to open this up. Yeah, salt, salt, earth, earth. Okay. Good enough. Alright, let's do the second chapter. Chapter 2, Unstable Catalysts. The 124th Alchemical Research Symposium, Agenda Day 3. I'm particularly looking for the independent researcher. There you go. Aerometallic alloys and their applications. Venator M and Day A. Okay, I have no idea what these names are about. This is probably like the morning talk, and then refreshments, and then late morning, an inquiry into self-igniting compounds by House Colvin. Sure. Oh, is this the organization that they're from? It's a really weird organization name, I guess. Then lunch, inquiry into proposed unification of cardinals, Ptolemy and Servin. Hey, Servin from Imperial University, nice. And then reduction of metals, yeah. Cool, they are saving the best for the last. Well, how did it go? Those coddled, smug quacksalvers. Not exactly a smashing success, I take it. It's astonishing how closed their minds are. The potential stares them in the face and they refuse to see it. Isn't this why you were working alone in the first place? There was one person who did seem interested, a member of House Soria. Oh, that would be promising if true. I've forgotten her name, alas, but she did ask us to keep her apprised of our progress. That's something then. There was also some talk about a provisioner from House Colvin to provide some basic materials, but that was it. What more did you expect? I don't know. I was hoping for a little bit of applause at least. Yeah, okay, so I remember Varian Novari has some like pretty substantial work on metals. In fact, he invented the wheel of metals. I forget where it was. But I saw somewhere that, yeah. Oh no, maybe not? What? This is kind of like it, but it's like has a quicksilver in the middle instead. So I guess it's not really Ravari's wheel. I guess not. And also like quite clearly, no, Ravari's wheel is like all the way up here. Yeah. I was gonna say this looks identical to the other one. I assume like the reagents are different, which is what makes that puzzle different. We're having an event. I'm in another stream. Please ask questions and I'll answer them if I can. Oh, are you doing weeklies now? Is it weeklies now? I'm just gonna do a quick look on Twitch to see if you're doing the weeklies.
Wieso werden manche? Oh.
Whoa, you're hearing someone else's stream on right now. Yeah. Okay, Pain Preserver. I'll probably join when I'm done with this stream. Just watch and see cool stuff. Anyway. So yeah, I think the House Soria person would have to be Lady Soria, maybe. That kind of like implies that this story occurs not long before or after. I think before, because House Colvin also existed. So before the main story. But not long before. Okay. Forgive me for saying so, but to my mind, you presented your research rather hastily. I suppose you're right. I should have waited so I could demonstrate metal division. Then I could have watched as they witnessed the element destroyed before their very eyes. Just imagine the shock, the gasps. Yes, well, on that note, your design was insightful, though I had to tinker with it a fair amount to get it working. But it does work. I believe it does. Excellent, let's see it in action. You don't want to hear what the modifications I had to make? Later, let's annihilate some metal first. Yeah, Savario, once again, using all these negative words. Glyph of Division. Splits an atom of metal into 2 atoms of lower form. Whoa. According to its metallicity or position in the sequence of metals. For example, tin was split into 2 lead atoms, while silver was split into an iron and tin. Okay, so it's supposed to be like as close to half-half as possible by rank. And then the up arrow is the higher metal, the down arrow is the lower metal. Okay, fair enough. But like, that's completely different from how the glyph of purification works, where it's 2 equal metals to give 1 metal of the next rank. I have to make lead, copper. No, not copper, iron. Lead, iron, tin. Okay, I mean, the math seems pretty simple. Gold is 2 times iron, right? Yeah, 6 is 2 times 3. So produce 2 iron, and 1 iron can split into tin and lead again. Which really shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so probably going to want this. Yeah, I don't think it's like wise to use multiple arms here. I don't think this grab is gonna work. It has to be slightly later, and then we're gonna have another arm that kind of drops the other one in, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So this will drop and then this will split again. Ooh, I don't know if I like this going so quickly. Because theoretically, this should work, but this goes too fast, way too fast. Yeah, way too fast. I think we need to slightly slow down the process. That's also a problem. Not a problem if I just move these around. You know, if I did this is like, yeah. And then 2 will rotate this way, 5 will rotate this way. Oh, okay. You might need to be even slower. Yeah, alright, there you go. Okay. Very consistent. This is the most common cycle solution. 39. But I believe it's definitely possible to make this way faster by having 2 streams or 2 pipelines. But it's fine if I have just 1. Yeah. As you can see, this results in 2 products with precisely half the metallicity of the input, so no alchemical laws are violated. Is that really true? Like, I would have thought that it would be divided into 2 atoms of the previous rank. But maybe the problem with that is that it will result in like an excess of quicksilver produced, maybe. Like basically, yeah. What can happen is that, well, I don't know. I don't really know. I see, disappointing. I'm sorry, are you not relieved? On one hand, yes, but on the other hand, I was hoping it might break an alchemical law or 2. That would certainly turn some heads, don't you think? I don't know if that's a good enough reason to try. The history books are littered with alchemists who attempted to violate the laws and paid quite a price. But they aren't me, are they? Sure. Oh, okay. It's not a set of puzzles, it's just cutscene after cutscene. Material requisition form by Severio Das. Yeah, requisition to be fulfilled by Severio Das. Provided to the August House Colvin. Additional compensation to be provided upon completion. Delivery is to be made at the dockside entrance. An agent of the house will escort you at the time of delivery. Do not leave any materials unattended. Bill of sale to follow. So we are performing a delivery. Yeah, it looks like we are creating some product and then sending it over. I trust I can leave the details of this work order to you. Ah, finally, some work for House Colvin. You're looking forward to it? Not exactly. I merely felt it was inevitable as soon as I learned the nature of your research. House Colvin is said to be foremost in metallurgy. Is that so? Perhaps we can make an impression on them. If we can deliver it so quickly it shocks them, and for an unmatched price, surely they want to know more about our process. So all we have to do is make these products faster and cheaper than anyone ever has. Exactly. Okay. Ah, infinite product. Haven't done that in a while. Haven't done that since the voltaic coil. Okay. I was wondering if there was going to be a cost or cycle like limit that we would have to fulfill, but I think by nature of this game there isn't supposed to be such a limit. Okay, so one unit is a rhombus consisting of 4 atoms. This. I believe one way to do it is to create 2 halves using 2 different glyphs of division. So like this, and then you split them into 2 different halves, and then basically you can reorient them in such a way so that you'll get the 2 different orientations of this diagonal, and then you can match them together however you like, and that will create the product, or at least one part of the product. At least it seems that easy, but I'm not actually sure if it is that easy. It seems rather challenging. Okay, let's try this and then put you on a track. Wrong direction. And then bonder here. So that'll produce this, which will be, once rotated, I'm gonna have a track length of like 6, I think. Seems reasonable, but I'll have it be a really long first, just to make sure everything works. So you get this, you get another rotation, and that will be the first half of this product. And then you get the second half, which should be... Well, the second half should always be a lot more quick than the first half, because the first half will be moved to the second half, I guess. The second half being produced, I guess, yeah. So how do I want to do this? Maybe that's not a good idea. That would create this, which I would say is fairly interesting if I compounded it with this. So this moves here, and that would create the entire thing. As long as no collisions occur. So arm 6 will move along the track, and arm 5 will rotate. right? And then arm 5 will rotate again. And that will be part of it. The problem is that the next one has to form a bond here, which I guess might be the difficult part of this process. Because that bond has to be here with the old... No, it actually has to be here. Oh. Well, that shouldn't be too difficult. So there just needs to be something that brings this down to here. Right? So this goes down here. Is that true? How would that... Because like, you see this rotates this way? That is a problem. This rotation is going to prevent something from staying here. So what's going to have to happen is that during this rotation, I think at the same time, an object from this location, or this location, will move into here, so that prevents collision with this atom. And then after that, at this location, it will pivot this shape into this shape. And that will form this bond. So this shape has to be here, i.e. something has to grab it and move down a track twice like that, basically. So that will be after arm 5 grabs. Okay, I'll try removing this to see how it goes. Okay, let's try having it move further in to see if there's any collision. There is no collision, and then pivot, right? Okay, maybe I will try to have multiple arms do this. Also, maybe I'll have this like exist here. It's a bit easier for me. Okay, in which case, hopefully this is good enough to hold you without any collision. Well, no, there will definitely be collision. Okay, fine. I'll hold it this way. So everything will basically repeat itself. And then what arm 7 is going to have to do is it's going to have to go back along the track at some point, and then we're going to have another arm 8, which will do the exact same thing slightly later, which would be around here. It's going to need to move along the track roughly an equal number of times. Okay, I like that. Hey, there you go. Whoa. It's a very big machine, but I like it. I want to see if I can design arm 7 and 8 to not be so unsynchronized. I would like them to move in sync, essentially. But maybe that's not really possible. Do you think this works? I don't think this works. I mean, it technically does. But not really. It technically does work, but it doesn't look very nice. How do I make it look nice? Who knows? Right. I don't know. I'll just let it play out. I guess there's really nothing wrong with this. Yeah, alright. Good enough, I'll take it. I suppose now is as good a moment as any to mention I was in the same class as the man who eventually became House Coven's head alchemist. What? What? Why didn't you say so immediately? Because it doesn't matter. We never spoke. I'm certain he wouldn't remember me. Don't be so sure about that. What's his name? Varen Rivari. Rivari? Where have I heard that name before? From Rivari's Wheel, perhaps. I remember it seemed to me a most useless invention. But perhaps there is something I missed. Come now, no need to be so generous. Wait, what? No need to be so generous about the fact that there was something in this invention at all? I don't know. I'm fairly certain Rivari's Wheel is going to show up next. Yeah. Do you remember anything else about this Rivari fellow? There isn't too much to remember. He mostly kept to himself, it seemed. And yet he became the head alchemist of House Coven. Surely he must have something to recommend him. You know as well as I that alchemical skill is not always the priority when these appointments are made. That's putting it mildly. I myself was passed over for the top job once. Oh, I haven't realized. At House Van Tessen, they picked some dashing young hotshot instead. I have to assume they based their decision completely on looks. Wait, I was told that Anateus's not Anateus. Like the original mod that contained all these glyphs had Severio's face be just Anateus with a goatee or something, which is why he says here that the guy is dashing. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. Pia has connections to Colvin, to House Colvin, and Severio has connections to House Van Tessen. Yeah, okay, before we do that, I'm just gonna play another game of Sigmar's Garden. I keep forgetting, I should be doing this, but I'm not. Okay. Let's see, that's there. That's kind of interesting. Also opens up another one of these. So once this matches with that, we have, like, we're gonna open up this and this, basically. Tin is odd, because we have to go in through here. Everything else is past it. So we have to clear this, then clear this, then clear this, then... Well, no, instead I think I have to go through here. Or here. I have to clear this and this and this, then this and this and this. So that's the route to take. We can't just go in this direction either. Wow, okay. Good to know, I suppose. I have to clear you out. And once these are cleared, this guy can clear with this guy as well, I believe. Okay. I'm gonna try as hard as possible to just make my way through. And it's not gonna unlock anything. I think at this point we might need the salt. No, just kidding. We can take water from here. Give me water from there. Here. Here. This guy is going to need salt. Definitely, yeah. Okay. Let's take this salt. Okay, this can match with this for water. Fire. Doesn't really matter which fire I use. So this now goes to this or this. I believe this is better. It definitely is. Yeah, this goes here. This goes here. What's the last Quicksilver? There. Okay. We're fine. All the Vitae and Moors are done. Yeah, okay, we should be good. We still need salt to match with Earth. Alright, quick win. Let's go back. Reactive lead. Ooh, reactive lead. Reactive lead and also reactive lead. I guess all lead combined with quicksilver is reactive. And we start with elemental iron. So we can either bring it down a level, producing tin and quicksilver, or we can split it, producing tin and okay. Well, I can definitely see how this is going to work out. Tin and lead. So what's going to happen is that iron can be brought in here that produces tin and quicksilver. Then the tin can be reduced again, so that produces lead and 2 quicksilvers for this product. Here, this guy can be brought into here, producing tin and lead. Then the tin can be reduced again, which will produce lead and quicksilver. So you have 2 quicksilvers, sorry, no, 2 leads and 1 quicksilver. And that produces this product. Okay. The easier product is this one, so let's work on the harder one first. So you have this, and you have that. So this lead is already done. I'm going to put it nearer to the arm since we probably need to interact with it a bit less. This guy we still need to work with, so let's drop it into this thing. And then this guy, I like to use a bonder like this. So could it be this? So arm 3 grabs, rotates, returns. Arm 4 and 5 both grab, rotate, and return as well. So this will produce the product, I believe. And then maybe arm 5 can rotate again. Yeah, okay. Seems good enough for the first product. So we're working on a cycle of 6 again. If arm 4 does the rotation, I think we clash, right? Just kidding, we don't clash, but the product isn't going to work very well. Alright, arm 5 is do the rotation. The product won't fit. Okay. So next, this guy. So this is the easier one. What's gonna have to happen is that quite simply, on this, we will have an arm to bring Quicksilver here, this. Bring this Quicksilver here. Oh no, that's gonna be a problem, right? Like this. Bring Quicksilver here, but then this guy has to go here. So a good position is never going to be like findable. That's not true. That is kind of true. How about this? So your track loop is gonna be grab this. Your track loop is gonna grab this, rotate and pull back. So rotate, pull back. And then the other two. Oh no, that's not gonna work either. Okay, so what I did here is that this overlapped with this exactly, so that you have two arms that basically transport these two together as if they were already bonded. I want to kind of do the same thing here. So before that, I need to find a good way to match this up with this, so that the third one can easily match with this, for example. So like this could be a good idea, except this can't really match with this or this. But this can match with this fairly easily. So we'll bring this back. Let's try this. Well, this rotation will work if you moved first along the track and then rotated. Arm 7? Because arm 7 can actually do this. Yeah. And then what happens is that these two will be matched over here. Oh, but that will require arms here and here. So this might actually have to be like this instead. And then that can happen. So your two arms will be this arm over here that grabs this and then rotates and then returns. And we'll copy that over. And this won't clash. Okay, so this has to do this. You might have to rotate first, so arm 7 now rotates first. This shouldn't clash with this, I think. Oh, it does. Wow, that is kind of interesting. Okay, how about this and this, doing the rotation in the other direction. So arms 8 and 9 do that rotation. Arm 7 you can go back to doing this, I believe. Arm 6 you now have to rotate in that direction instead. It's kind of close, but not it. Ah, I see the problem. I flipped it. So this actually has to be rotated like that, meaning this has to be brought into here, which actually is a significantly more difficult job, I think. Yeah, this one is a more difficult job. No, it's not. This is also doable like that. No, I need to bring this guy in, right. So it's gonna have to be like this. Wait, no. Wait, what? This is right. Yes, the Quicksilver is here. So you bring the Quicksilver in. And then I think arm 8 can actually be the one that rotates. Arm 9 can also rotate, but arm 8 brings me a smaller area. And this should be it. Let's quickly check to make sure everything works. There you go. Okay. Now let's put the Critelli in there. Okay. This should be it. I wonder if one can be shortened slightly, but seems maybe not possible. Oh, it definitely is possible. I just need to put this guy in a different location. So this I can slide into here. Here. Arm 6 will rotate clockwise, arm 1 will rotate clockwise as well. There you go. Of course, one more time. There. Cool. Not the fastest. I could have definitely shortened the track loop to 4, but I'll take it. Alright, between you and me, I've heard Van Tassen's best days are long behind it. Perhaps it's for the better that you were not invited to join them. Perhaps. You're still upset about it though, aren't you? Aren't you, full stop? No question mark. I feel like that's interesting way that they would write it like this. Interesting that they would write it like this. I mean, it makes sense in Pierre's tone that you use a full stop. But I feel like the way dialogue was written in the main story, this would have been a question mark. I don't know. Maybe this is all taken from like the dialogue from the mod or something, if the mod had like a storyline. Anyway, you're still upset about it though, aren't you? I have nobody to blame but myself. I chose the Maverick's path, wanting to fly in the face of alchemical convention. But it's been difficult, I can see. You still want the recognition. After all, do I not deserve it? Who can say? At any rate, if we had to finish all these deliveries soon, I must be getting back to work. Why are we making... Whoa! Sigmar's Garden? So why are we making reactive lead for House Coven? No idea. Ooh, Sigmar's Garden. But wait. How is this different from the main game? Yeah, I see the difference. So... instead of Quicksilver, it's 2 metals put together, so we're doing purification instead of projection. Okay, and it has to be in this order, so we must uncover both leads first, for example. Oh, there's 4 of them. We must uncover all 4 leads first, maybe? Okay, I can probably see that happening. So for example, if I cleared you out, then these can clear each other, but then I still have to clear the leads before I can open the tin. Okay, so let's work this way. I definitely want to open you at some point. Will I obtain another earth soon enough? No. Okay, but once I clear you, I can use this on this and then that will give me 2 more tins. Okay. This should give me another fire to work with. Lead and lead gives me tin. Well, you can work with you. Or you. Doesn't matter. Not sure. I think water might be a good idea here. Because that allows me to clear out this line. And then with these 4 earths, I can have access to, wow, every single one of these. Okay, so I need to access you now. I think the difficulty will be going to this one. But once I clear out enough water, and then enough... yeah, once I clear enough water, I should be able to access you. And then you are with salt. I guess I'll clear... earth with it? Or should I just clear out the other salt? I think I should clear out the other salt. There's only 2 silvers, fascinatingly. Right. You, sure. Okay. That's a solve. I'll be playing this later, I guess. Armor polish. Also, there's no dialogue for this new Sigmar's Garden. Which is interesting. I thought maybe Pierre would talk about it, but I guess he's a bit busy doing work right now. Pierre, I do have to wonder why House Coven needs all this stuff. Armor polish, fireworks, they intend to have some kind of parade perhaps. I've never heard of any grand Coven parade, but I suppose it's possible. It could be tinted to intimidate their neighbors with such a display. Intend, what did I say? It could be they intend to intimidate their neighbors with such a display. Maybe, why bother wondering about such matters though? I'm eager to see this work done so we can return to our more pressing research. Or research. Only because such matters can affect my job, and I haven't had the luxury of another trade I could fall back upon. Oh, it appears out of a job as well, except this one. If production alchemy disappeared, I would be useless. Interesting. Is this? No, this isn't production alchemy. Also, what in the world is this? Jeez, alright. So, 9 tin. I have projection. I have splitting. Okay, and iron was split into 1 tin, 1 lead. So my guess is that 2 irons were split into 2 tin, 2 lead. The 2 leads can be projected into another tin, and then those 3 tins will be used on this. Which is interesting, because how would I separate 9 tins into 2 coppers? No, well, yeah, 2 coppers gives 3 tins, so 2 coppers gives 3 tins, so it would need 6 lead, 6 iron? 6 iron. 6 iron to produce 9 tin. There. Okay. Might not be such a good idea to produce tin like this. Maybe it's a better idea if I produced 3 pieces of this and then attach them to a central section. That would be a good idea, I believe. I don't really want to split up the work evenly. I think if I had a single iron work on 3 tins and then this one work on all the remaining 6, I think I'll be happy enough. Okay. I also did want to mention that the story seems to be implying that this is them producing the materials required for Coven to start attacking House Ventesson, is what I believe is going on. Okay. So how shall we do this? Well, let's start by trying to produce the things first. Okay. Well, that kind of produces what I want, but like not really. I quite like this setup, I will say. And we could have water here, and then there could be another lead being produced here. The issue that I find with this setup is that there's very little space for this water to move out. There is a way to fix that, and it is by moving this other water from here to here instead, even though that will require a slight sacrifice. I believe. Maybe? That's kind of not bad, I will say. If I put a water here, this has free reign to just swing out like that. Okay, I don't mind that. I'm a little concerned as well, though, about how the water's gonna get to here if it's gonna swing out with this way. Okay, let's just put you here. You have to follow arm 4, I think. Okay, can you rotate here or does this clash? It clashes with whatever comes out of you. Okay. Well, then it might not even be worth, like, this wouldn't work either. Let's avoid that altogether and just see if this makes any sense. So this can definitely rotate here. Can a 2-length arm do it? I don't think a 2-length arm can do it. I think a 2-length arm would collide with this. No, okay. Can a 3-length arm rotate? Yes, yes it can. I think the 2-length arm is the most interesting though, because it produces this guy here, which I think would be compatible with these irons. Yeah, okay. Question though is, how's the water gonna get to here? Because the water has to supply a lot of things. The water has to both be part of this as well as this. And it also has to be part of like the middle as a calcified water. Maybe it's not such a good idea after all. Okay, if I were to rotate... Can I control click? No. I don't think I can. This definitely clashes with something. Just kidding, I guess it doesn't. Wow. Okay. Implies a smaller one might not clash either. Small arm won't clash. Okay. Not super happy about this. The main reason I'm not happy about it is because well, it's in the wrong orientation. But that could be fixed, I believe. So to fix the wrong orientation... Well, I don't know what I would do to fix the wrong orientation. So you have to be here. And then collisions of all sorts would occur. I need to redesign this, I think. This is not going to work well at all. If what 6 does is it instead pivots before rotating, would that be enough clearance for this? Like if I say I had a bonder here. Well, not there, but here. There might be enough. Okay, there might be enough clearance as long as there's nothing in here. Which is difficult because Arm 6 is going to basically have to repeat this step to put the second one in. Right? Oh no, does Arm 1 have to... Arm 1 wants to do it twice more, and that will create another set of this and this. Yeah, that does seem reasonable. Again, how's the water gonna get to so many different places at once? Who knows? I feel like maybe the way this is looking, I want the water to be here. Water here seems to be the most reasonable. Oh, right. Silly. Yeah, again, needs a lot of redesigning because the spaces just don't work right. Don't know how I'm gonna get water out here from like wherever. Maybe it can come from around like the back. You know, I don't really see that being a problem with this. Although there really would be a problem. I think that there would be a problem. But probably resolvable in a few different ways. Like for one, well, I don't know for one what. Having these guys so far apart is a bad idea. Or maybe there should just be one area for producing the bend. Rather than there being one here, and then a third location for this salt that I need to consider. There should just be one here. And then this guy can supply this, and then supply this somewhere else without having to worry about this. I'll say that's probably a good idea. Okay. So let's try this. And let's try this. Okay. So yeah. I see this being a cool little thing. So you have this. You have this, and then I don't know, at some point you'll rotate and throw this in. Okay, well, I have to do it slightly later. How about here? So there you go. Okay, let's test how well this can swing. Can it swing from here? 6. I don't know what arm 6 is doing. Let's get rid of arm 6. 7. You will grab here and then rotate here. Does it clash? It does not, surprisingly. Okay, that's good. Again, this is kind of still far away from the whole thing. But now the arm 6 was, the old arm 6 is gone. This can actually be put here a lot more easily. And in fact, can just be pulled out at this point. Oh, just kidding. I guess it can't be pulled out at that point. I do like this because, well, here's a cool thing. If arm 1 doesn't do whatever nonsense it's trying to do, does that instead. Can arm 7 be a shorter arm? Yeah, I see it. Okay. So here, the shape of this basically forces the bonder to be here. But fortunately, I believe that this won't cause any collisions. Like if you look at this and you overlay this on top, it barely avoids arm 7. So arm 7 can throw in the final one. And then this can be thrown like into the goal, I guess. So yeah, that's cool. Now, I believe this doesn't actually have to be thrown here. Instead, it can be made into a core that is moved here at the right time. Because it takes quite a while for this to even produce, right? I did leave a tiny amount of space at the start to pull out a single water to start with. Because arm 6 kind of pulls out kind of late. Although, to be fair, arm 6 really can't do this, which is sad. Because then arm 4 will meet issues. Although, once again, resolvable if I just, you know, had arm 4 be slightly slower. So arm 4... the problem is that everyone is working on cycles of 4 right now. That's kind of whack, honestly. And like, I think this is gonna all be messed up by the fact that the product has to be grabbed and like constantly spun around. So maybe it doesn't matter that arm 4 isn't following a 4 cycle loop. Let's have it grab, rotate, and then move along the track. Yeah, it really isn't a problem. And in fact, what that means is that arm 6, or arm 5, sorry, can actually do the job of rotating like twice, and that should still be fine. That will put the bonder here, which is a little bit suspicious, I will say. Don't know if I like that. I bet if you moved along a track and then rotate it, which will put this back here. But we'll ignore that for now and we'll see how it goes. We'll see if this can actually, you know, put what I want here. And this will actually have a lot fewer collisions, a lot fewer possible collisions. Okay. So arm 7, you can actually start by... Oh. Arm 7, you can actually be here, I believe. Yeah, no problem there. In fact, this I think can also be one of these bonders. And whatever this does, really only needs to be done once. Okay, so arm 7, you are going to grab, rotate, rotate, track. Okay, and then at some point... Oh. At no point in this process can actually be calcified. That is definitely an issue of some sort. Oh well, we'll figure it out. I was thinking of another way that you can do this is by doing this. So you rotate then track twice. It's kind of a bit more expensive and a bit more space using, but not really a concern that I have at the moment. Okay. The process of doing this is very simple. I basically want to copy this thing over. Okay, so F9 will grab, rotate, return. It should repeat. Yeah, and this entire process can actually start quite late. I don't know how late, but it can start quite late. Because we really only need to follow this arm. And arm 7. Arm 7. Arm 7 can also start pretty late. Don't know how late you can start, but you can start very late, honestly. You can start one cycle later. And let's have the rest of the arms on top basically follow the same cycle. Just kidding, you have to start slightly later. Okay. Arm 8 can start earlier then, so the arm 9 will produce this at the correct time. Arm 7, can you pivot twice? What happens if you pivot twice? Actually, this is incorrect. Because this should not be here. You should only add on after the pivot, I believe. Or, in fact, before the pivot. Like that seems okay. Yeah, you can consider this to be 3 times of this, like, interesting structure. Okay. Then once that happens, arms 2 to 6 can repeat. Based on this, I think. Yeah, I know. So something here has to... do something. I don't know what this is, how this is going to get over here, honestly. But suppose we had enough space by doing something like this. So arm 4, it says does this. Right. Then arm 4 basically repeat that process. Another arm has to be in here. Getting ready to move this over. So where is that? What is that arm going to do? The arm, which is now going to be arm 7, has to grab. Okay. They can grab any time, like fairly early on, I think. Oh no, it has to grab here. Well, I suppose it doesn't have to grab and rotate this early. Can arm 4 rotate? Wait, I didn't... Wait, yeah. Can arm 4 rotate? Nope. Didn't happen here, but arm 6. Ah, I'm very confused. But yeah, okay, no, I understand. This has to grab later. How much later? Not sure. So like this now. Okay. That is, I guess that is one way to do it. And then you don't have to be that early, you know. You can be very slightly late. You just have to be after 5 does its rotation. So I guess this? No, after 5 does its second rotation. Yeah, and it can be slightly shorter as well. Actually, the grabbing doesn't even have to be this early. Oh, it does have to be this early. It has to be very early. I guess I should have figured that out. How early does it have to be? That's like the earliest it can. That's the latest it can be, actually. Okay. I'm gonna need Arm 6 to do its job one more time. Not sure when, but at some point. It's probably have to be during the moment that Arm 5 does its rotation as well. After should also be fine. Because this is the latest. This is the latest one. Okay. So then arm... There's another arm. I don't know where it's gonna be. Could it be here, like, honestly? Don't know how this is going to work out. So that's gonna have to happen when arm 3 does its second... After arm 3 does its second drop. No, after arm... Whatever the arm this is? 2 does its second drop. So here. This won't block anyone, right? Oh, okay. Well, arm 5. After this happens, you can grab and then rotate again. And then that should be the final thing. Okay. And then, you know, arm 5 can return. A lot of stuff going on here, but hopefully not too much of an issue. Okay, next up, we're going to deal with arm... someone. Who's next? Yeah, you guys have to repeat. Arm 10 will probably repeat again. Does it have to repeat again? Honestly, I don't even think so. Yeah, because this guy just goes in. So arm 11 repeats. Not sure when. It is going to rotate when 7 pivots again. Sorry, 9. Whenever 9 pivots, I don't know when it's going to pivot, but the rotation occurs at the same time as the pivot, which should be correct. Okay, that looks right. And then this guy will be thrown in here at the last minute. Is it better if I pivoted the other direction? Nope, it has to be this direction. That's super weird. Because then it has to pivot in the opposite direction, I believe. So when 5 does its rotation, it does this pivot. Yeah, something like that. And at some point, like here almost, here, there should be a rotation. If I want to use the same, you know, bonder. Okay, never mind, let's not. Let's have another set of arms do all the work. Okay, so can arm 14 grab and rotate at this point? Arm 14 is even holding onto the thing. How about now? I say that's good, not the best. What I want is, I want the hole to sort of match up where this is. I guess that's not really possible, is it? Yeah. On the other arm should be fine, wherever the other arm is. Okay. I'll just put you here first. There. I'm gonna grab this arm. It's gonna rotate. So arm 15. I guess not rotate, maybe pivot. Oh, even a pivot's not good enough there. Okay. Well, where can a pivot be? Can a pivot be here? See, that's not good enough. I think the pivot has to be on this atom. That should align the hole to this. Okay. Can I then have an arm grab whatever's there, which I believe is arm 16, grab, rotate? Do you think this works? No. Probably won't work after either, right? I'll create another collision. Yeah. Okay, what other pivots can work? That is not good. Can I try a pivot here? That is also not good. The pivot does have to be exactly here for it to work. Okay, question. What if it were on a track and then it swung with a radius of 2? Also no, in fact it's even worse. Okay, swing with a radius of 3 is probably the fastest it's gonna swing. It's probably the closest we're gonna get. If it doesn't work, it's not gonna work, like in general. Ah, unfortunate. But maybe there's a way I can make this work by doing rotations. So let's say arm 16 didn't do anything. What rotation is equivalent to that movement, I guess? What rotation is equivalent to doing this? Well, could it be something like this? Oh, it's kind of close, in fact. Almost works. How about here? No. It's the same. I guess the pivot point is the same no matter what. Oh, okay. Well, then I don't think I can do anything about it. I think this is going to be a slow process. So this pivot, so you're going to have to work with something that moves you in very slowly, basically. Nope. Okay, I guess you have to be slightly slower. Why is there a bond there? Oh, yuck. That's really bad. Okay, let's try a better pivot. So that would be here. What set of moves would you need? You need 4 moves, wow. Okay, but the good thing is probably these 4 moves can be a lot earlier. Okay, not that early. Yeah, okay. And do I just want to accept this? If it even works as a solution? I gotta zoom out for this, wow. Is something slow going on there? I feel like there's something slow going on there. Also, is there... yeah, there's a thing that I missed. So this might be a problem because it's a bit too fast. Even though, just kidding, it isn't. Alright, we'll save on some cycles here. Yeah, look at that. That's so weird. But I think it's necessary. Because you... have to do that. Is that true? Yes. Which arm are you? You're arm 8. Arm 8, why are you doing that 3 times? Okay, so arm 5 can be slower. So arm 5 can be earlier. And that means all of these can also be slightly earlier. Just kidding. But that does mean that arm 9 can rotate earlier, I believe. Yes, okay, that is something I can do. Okay, can I make arm 8 better? Can arm 8 rotate from here to here? That will make it faster? Yes, but under a few circumstances. Arm 8 has to be here, and then only move up at the right time. That would have to be here. So does this work? Arm 8, you're in the wrong location. Arm 8, do this. Grab, rotate. Yes, okay, there's an arm 5 can grab even earlier. Arm 9 can pivot earlier. All of these can be slightly earlier. Okay. Acceptable. Well, here's a question. Could I have made this section a lot better? I think I could. Alright, well, that's whatever. Expensive, slow, but it's a big product, so I can't be too mad about it. Okay. Jeez, that was quite a long puzzle. Once we finish all of these products to their specifications, I cannot imagine it will be difficult to persuade House Coven to meet with us. Sadly, it's merely their provisioner we're dealing with now. He's an oaf who doesn't care about the alchemy or understand it in the slightest. Do I know this provisioner? With our last delivery, however, I plan on including a letter asking for an audience with Rivari. It should make a persuasive argument. I'll give some tantalizing hints about our pioneering research. I've even coined a term for it, reductive metallurgy. You should have gone to the symposium with that. They love fashionable new terms. No, I will, but first let's see if your old classmate is interested. Okay, we've got one more puzzle. I'm gonna look at it, but if it's really big, I will try to not. I'll probably not solve it. I do want to solve it though to finish the chapter, so we'll see. Pierre, regarding what I said earlier, surely you have your own tales of thwarted ambitions. I can't think of one. Truly, don't tell me you're happy simply doing whatever you're hired to do. I'll refuse to believe it. It's more than I'm happy when I have an interesting problem before me. And that's all you ever want to do? No, there are other things. For example, I like to sit by the river watching the barges go by. I have the feeling you're not being entirely serious with me right now. I assure you I am quite serious. Fascinating, you're watching the barges go by, huh? Is that why I called Pierre? I'm sorry. Also, like, this feels like a reference to the whole plan that Anateas and Concordia had about stealing a barge of Litharge. Alright, fireworks powder. Jeez. Alright, so we got fireworks powder in 3 different orientations. If I order the these guys in the same orientation, then these guys are attached to it in different orientations. Okay, well it seems like these 3 are good enough to produce one of these each. Gold has to be reduced into 3 times copper. Now, how will that work? Gold can produce 2 iron, which will make 1 copper. Wait. Wait a minute. But I don't have purification. Interesting. Okay, I can also reduce like this though. So if I got gold to become 2 iron, is that the best I can do? Well, I would say one way to do it is have gold be brought down to iron via only rejection. That will produce 3 quicksilver. And then have another gold brought down to 2 iron via division. And then use the 3 quicksilvers on iron to turn them all into copper. So that's 2 gold into 2 copper, 3 copper. I think that makes sense. I think that also is worth it. Yep, okay, I see it. I see the whole process before my eyes. So like this. They'll be brought into here, and they'll turn into copper. And this will just be a copper producing machine, and I guess like the copper can be pulled out. At the same time, gold can be reduced, make up another arm. Like this. I don't like this being here because this rotation won't work. Okay, let's see if arm 3 and arm 2 can even rotate together first. It says yes, apparently yes. Okay, cool. The problem is that arm 4 can't rotate without colliding. Yeah. Okay. Once again, I really would like to do this, but I would definitely also want to put you in first. This seems nice, except for the fact that it's not really. It's whatever. Okay. This is arm 1. Okay. So arm 5, you can grab here and rotate. Do you think these collide? Good, they do not collide. So this will produce the copper over and over and over again. And the last step will be arm 3 and 4 doing the same thing. How would I even do this, honestly? Honestly, I have no idea how to do this. Like, the idea is I probably want like a really long arm to bring this in different orientations. So it's gonna start by having this orientation, then it's gonna have this orientation, then it's gonna have this orientation. But the question is, how do I have those three orientations work? This will have to start. So like this orientation, for example, has to start here. This orientation has to start here, and this orientation has to start here. So the question is, how do I produce different ones of these in such a way that the resulting is different? I feel like there's a way to do it systematically. So let's try with a single. Let's try with a single arm. What can we do? Well, with a single arm, sorry, with a single fire, not arm. Can do something like this. Not like that, but you know. Something like this. And that can sort of work. Oops. So if I put this here, for example, then we have a product of this orientation. If I had this be this, then I basically have this product in, you know, a different orientation. So like this will produce the product that is in this orientation, which is not the best, I guess, but still. You'd basically have something like that. Obviously, the orientation is not really what I'm looking for. Arm 8 is supposed to grab and rotate here. For example. And if arm 8 repeats that, I don't know, it could be another arm that grabs you, rotates you, I don't know, something, something, something. That's one of the products done. This has to be slightly late. This has to be after arm 5. That's actually very late. Yeah, wow. Oh, what? Oh yeah, the release has to be... No, the rotation has to be equal to the release. Yeah, that makes sense. So that would be one of the products. I can see that. Well, it seems like this is kind of off. But not really. Oh, it can always be pivoted. And then basically what happened is that ARM 9 and 10, we don't even need this. ARMs 9, 10, 11 can repeat that process afterwards. So ARM 14, I suppose, can pivot in the right direction. Okay, and then ARMs 9 and 10, y'all can repeat your steps like a lot later. However later, I don't know yet. Something like this. Clearly not going to work. Oh, actually the orientation's not even right. Yeah. So the orientation shouldn't be pivoted once, you pivot twice in the other direction. Oh, maybe 3 times in the other direction, so pivot twice forward? That's kind of it. I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't know, we'll just have another arm that grabs and pivots and that's it. So it will grab here, it will pivot here, and then it will release. And honestly, ARMs 9, 10, 11, they can repeat that process. So the ARM 8 can do this, so its rotation matches with this pivot. Yeah, and then ARM 8 will need to actually pivot. This is super messy right now, but like, I don't really care. Yeah, and then ARM 5 will repeat its process one more time, and then some other ARM somewhere, maybe ARM 15 can help out again. So if ARM 15 does its job again, it's gonna have to, I think here? Okay, that works. Just means that ARM 15 has to do something else for the first step. Maybe rotate it twice, that'll be fine. Yeah. And that should be it. I can see a very nice hole that the Quiteli can fit into. Oh, and then of course, I have to get rid of this. Hopefully there won't be any collisions in this case. Just kidding, I guess there are. That's so mean. This means I have to like extend this by 1 cycle, I guess. Wait, what? Yeah, no, this is right. I don't know what I was so surprised about. Ta-da! 89 cycles, not bad, if I do say so myself. I was gonna play it again because see all of the arms are kind of like very stagnant, but it's whatever. It's almost as if 9 and 10 could have just done this step themselves. I'm not sure if it really could have. Maybe not. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I'm just gonna download the thing, download the solution, because I think it looks cool. Ta-da! Alright, good enough. In a way, I envy you. Would that I could be satisfied by a job well done. I don't see anything preventing you from that. You wouldn't understand. The alchemical establishment is wrong, and I must show them I am right. It drives me mad, the way they tiptoe around the base elements as though their feelings might get hurt. If we could recognize that we were meant to be the masters, that elements could be bent, torn, and tortured into all kinds of new forms. Nothing is stopping us from making these new discoveries except an unthinking devotion to the past and simple cowardice. By making way for new theories and... Pierre? Pierre, where did you go? Oh, we just left. Wow, just up and left. Crazy. I guess Pierre's also kind of tired of, like, Savario's rants. The Great Mess. Whoa, where are you guys? Pierre? Pierre? You guys are at the stone market. Are you guys still in the workshop? I can hardly see in here. What happened? Oh, Pierre didn't move away. Like some smoke got in, I guess. Gah, Quicksilver. Oh no, this is a disaster. The lab's utterly ruined. Ugh. It's a good thing I'm alright, in case you were wondering. I could see you were fine. Just barely, thank you. A few superheated drops of Quicksilver very nearly hit me when the implosion happened. Implosion? Oh, that would explain the transmutation engine. I believe some congratulations are in order. In my entire career, I've never ever seen one melt and fold in upon itself like that. This is no time for jokes. Without a working transmutation engine, we are utterly ruined. Do you know how hard it was to find one I can use independently? You forgive me if I'm not terribly focused at the moment. I did almost just die. I suppose there's nothing to do now but make the last delivery and see if House Coven responds favorably to the letter. Savario? Yes, what is it? Before we go, might I have a word with you about your safety practices? We should hurry. You can give me a little lecture on the way. Okay, so I guess that's what happened. They destroyed the transmutation engine. Cool. Okay, so next stream, we'll move on and see how far into chapter 3 we'll get. I think I barely held on for chapter 1 before having to stop. I'm very tired, but it's alright. Yeah, we'll do chapter 3 next stream. Until then, hope you guys enjoyed the stream, I guess. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.